Hey everyone, welcome to the PCN Podcast. I am Brazilian. Alongside me we got AJ. On our panel today we got Squid, Dorsey, Vape, and Bayer Leverkusen manager special guest Rio. Before we begin, I'd like to say a big thank you to our sponsor Beat On for spending $70 to get the former super team Benfica back in gear.
Thank you, Beat On.
Alright, on to the Super League. River Plate's still undefeated. Holy crap. I don't even have anything else to say about this team other than goddamn, 36 goals for, 6 against. That's just mental. At this point, I honestly kind of just want to call it a wrap. I think they've already won the title. Anyone?
It might be a little early just because we're only a third of the way through the season, but they're on such a good run. They had a couple scares last night. They actually conceded 3 goals in 2 games, which is half of their goals conceded. Overconfidence can always be an issue when you're just on top for so long, but if they still have 2 games in hand and they're 5 points clear right now. So if they won those, they'd be 11 clear. I don't know. It might be over, but we'll see. We'll see.
And the mean, not so green dream meme team that is City have hauled themselves into second place. Zlatan's team's kind of connecting. Zlatan and Eric splitting 32 goals between them, 15 and 17 for each respectively. Do you think they can hold?
No.
I agree. So, tell us why.
Yeah.
They're left striker.
Shout out to my boy Will Power, but that left striker spot, it's a big fire.
Yo, come on now.
Will, you're my dog. If they end up staying, it's because of Will.
In all seriousness, though,
100%.
they have had an overhaul and they've signed a lot of defensive players, which has helped their defensive standings immensely. I mean, that in itself boosting them up to second place. I think it's a good continuation point for them. They've built their chemistry significantly. And I think they really look to be a team competing for a top 4 spot, which was Ibra's goal in his first season managing, but we all know how that went. Our boy Fozzie made a bold prediction last week about pressure making diamonds, and hey, what do you know? Sitting third place now after a convincing win over NYCFC and a narrow 3-2 win over Schalke. Young boys look like they just might compete, and if they keep performing like this, who knows?
I could see them easily finishing second, just like the last 3 Milan teams, and I feel bad if that happens, just because I know those players are going to be gutted.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly, it's kind of a curse for that side, huh? It seems like no matter what guys, the Dons, young boys, or in Milan, they just can't crack that top spot.
Yeah.
It's mental fragility, man.
It's still early.
Yeah, it's still early. Now, although they lost to Liverpool, Man United have been working nice and hard to fight for their place in the top 4, and they've been rewarded. What do you think they need to keep in mind if they want to stay here?
They should just keep up being consistent with their gameplay and also not getting...
You gotta just stay consistent, especially when it's your first year kind of doing your thing.
Orlando. Oh man, they rushed straight into it. No foreplay, and because of that, they blew their load nice and early. After we predicted them to be a top 2 or 3 team, they've regressed just a bit. By no means have they had any notably poor performances, but a draw and a loss every now and then adds up, especially for a team that admitted to competing for that top spot.
Yeah, and I think, so we have the transfer window coming up next week, and they've conceded 25, which is most in the top 7, second most in the top 11, so I know they didn't have a couple of defenders on their day, but they've got to get some defensive reinforcements, just guys who can be there just in case. Otherwise, conceding 2 goals a game like they have been, it's just not going to get you where you need to be at the end of the season.
Ooh, look at me, I'm Dorsey, I know stats.
Dorsey knows stats, it's the truth.
Alright, finally, in 6th, we got Juve. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Ooh.
On Sunday, they lost both of their games, and although last night they redeemed themselves with 2 wins, they were narrow wins against Atlanta and PSG, who both sit deep in the mid-table. What do they need to change?
A loaded question.
I'm sure Italiano could give you a lot of answers. They dumped a couple players, I think, after this week, and I'm sure they'll be making some changes, because this is not the kind of form we were used to from them, so we'll see where they're going to go.
Have they fallen? Have they fallen from the top? What do you guys think?
Yeah, they need life alert.
They need life alert? You wrap it around their neck and go ahead and hit the button? I'm just wondering. They're how far back? How far back are they of the first place team?
They're currently in 6th place.
6th place, 8 points back.
I don't know. I think this year, part of it is River Plate coming into the league.
Absolutely. So I think that'll be really interesting to follow going forward with the whole Juve thing. And just want to give a little shout out to my boys at Lyon. We are tied with Juve on points right now, sitting there in 7th, just behind Juve in goal difference. But anyway, I want to move on to the mid-table. New York City FC look like a really interesting team. For a newly promoted team, they're still doing well, but there are areas that they need to reinforce. 21 conceded and 14 is pretty decent, but they have a -3 goal difference. And if you stay in the negative goal difference, the most you're going to get is maybe 9th, 10th place, and that's right where they are right now.
Now, PSG are back in the spotlight as they actually haven't picked up a win since they were 3-0-3. Remember the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. They're now 3-1-9 in desperate need defensive strengthening, conceding 25 goals in 12 games. What does the future have in store?
So they're definitely missing Kermit the Frog, who went to Arsenal. And
Excuse me, it's Lafroge.
Lafroge, sorry.
Uncultured swine.
They played 3 goalies already this season, so they're definitely missing him and trying to struggle to replace him. But that front three of Stay High, Lupe, and Braveheart, they have 6 goals and 5 assists between them, and they've already played 21 people in the league, at least 2 games. So I know Stay High is working hard. He's putting a new post up every day. So, I say it every week. I hope they can get it going. It's just, it's a team I like to see up a little higher, but it's just not clicking yet.
Dorsey, Tottenham, 2 wins! One
2
of them
wins
was against Bayern, who also surprised us, but Tottenham might be on an upswing, and with PSG and Chivas' really underwhelming form, one more win could help them get out of relegation. Dorsey, are you happy?
I am psyched. I am psyched for Bayern having a win and a draw last night and moving on in the cup. They're making some moves, and a club like Chivas, they really need to start playing with 11 and get some more defenders on, or they're gonna sink into that relegation zone. So I think this will be a really fascinating bottom 5 or 6 this season.
It's always a struggle with defenders at the bottom. It seems like teams can't get defenders to consistently stay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Bayern and Dortmund both have wins now, but still have a lot of work to do, especially defensively, because Dortmund have conceded 44 and 13.
Shameful.
And at this stage, as much as it pains me to say it, I believe my good old former black and yellow club is going to get relegated this season.
Ouch.
Unless you have a clause in your contract that forbids you from talking bad about Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
I was released on not mutual terms, we'll say.
Shout out to Spicy Beetle.
Now, with the transfer window fast approaching, Dorsey, do you have any lowdown on some of the teams that need to make big moves?
Yeah, so I've mentioned a couple already. I think one more that still is kind of sitting in mid-table that we're most surprised by is AC Milan. Fatal Enjoyment, I think it's found that a lot of his players who we thought would show up more often and kind of be dedicated have not been. They've got 2 wins and 5 draws in 14 games, so he's just going to be looking for anybody who will show up and give him a good effort. And I think if he can get a couple pieces, he can kind of push up a little bit. Liverpool are sitting there. They're in 8th. They're really close to that top 6, but they do also have a negative goal difference like New York City as a newly promoted team. So they're in the mix, and they've got some really high-rated players, I think, in like the standings for team of season points and things like that. But I'm sure they'll be looking for a few pieces as well.
I remember seeing one of their midfielders have like 23 key passes already, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty impressive.
I think Erikin for them has played like goalie and CDM and like maybe some other position, and he's only played like 9 games or something, but he's in the top. He's been in the top like 5 or 10 all season.
I would shout out Jigsaw for 31 key passes, but FIFA Talentless has brought it to my attention that corners basically guarantee a key pass, so no shout out for you, Jigsaw. Dorsey, from there, I think we can go on to the Cup.
Yeah, so we're starting to get to the nitty-gritty of our League Cup. We just had the round of 16 last night. We saw 3 games actually go to penalties, and us at Lyon, we beat Atletico 2-1. We could have gone extra time. We had kind of a late winner, but 3 of those games going to penalties, I'm sure that was really nerve-wracking for those clubs. But there's only one team in the top 6 that's even in the final 8, and you've got some clubs like Bayern and Benfica and Inter that are kind of the underdogs, and it'll be really interesting to see kind of where it goes from here. And then in the Royal Cup, it's still, because of all the reschedules we've had going on, it's a little kind of hard to recap. Yeah, I think once we get to the knockouts, I'll kind of talk more about that. But I thought the most interesting result was Man City piled on the pain for Orlando as they beat them 5-0, and then Juventus narrowly beat Benfica 2-1 and narrowly beat Barcelona 1-0. So Juve's struggles are definitely still kind of continuing.
Yeah, that's the thing I enjoy about Cup fixtures is, no matter what, if it's real life or if it's FIFA, I don't know, Cup mentality is always so different from a regular season. I don't know what it is about the Cup, but there's always extra physicality. I've noticed that there's 10 times more fouls in Cup games just because of that, like, winner-take-all motivation of, winner stays on kind of thing. But yeah, I've just been thoroughly impressed with the teams that have progressed compared to their league standing, Bayern especially, some of those underdog teams that really just want to come away from this season with a point to prove.
Mm-hmm. And we've still got Inter Milan and Bayern right now are kind of they just seem like teams of destiny based on who they've beaten and kind of who they have in the next round and the way they've started to play. It's what Inter's been doing all season. So, I mean, I believe, Leon, I'm hoping we can find a way to win that cup. But if we don't, those are the two
teams. I think NYCFC is going to smash us.
I hope not.
All right. AJ, the floor is yours.
Oh man, I don't want the floor. I really don't. We're gonna go to the table. Who's leading Division 1? We got a couple teams dropping out of the bottom, or they haven't played, relegation, defaulting, yada yada. It's harder in our division. We're a bunch of misfits. But the cream of the crop, which I tend to cover, Bayer Leverkusen sitting at the top. But Inter Milan sitting in second, 29 points. Barcelona 26 points, and third, Ajax 23. In fourth, and Benfica tied with Ajax at 23 points.
Benfica did beat Ajax, and they're still undefeated since the new management came in.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's recap on that Benfica thing, because last week, Dorsey, you said Ajax were going to pick up a win 3-2.
Against Benfica?
Benfica beat them 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah, I was hoping the Ajax guys would back me up, but Benfica proved me wrong.
They're just doing good. That's a solid team. Same thing as I feel. Barcelona, I told them they were sitting mid-table after, I think, the first week or second week. I said they were probably going to climb. And they have. And Inter Milan has been nothing but solid. To be honest, they beat us in our second match 2-0. We were unable to score on them. Just a solid team. They play very much a European style of soccer. They possess the ball. They take advantage of the openings they have. They're a hard team to score on and can frustrate you so much. Just so much. You end up sending 2 or 3 guys to the ball. You get out of position, and then before you know it, they've scored on you. Barcelona, like I said, being solid. Ajax, the recovery period. And Benfica, the redheaded stepchild of Ajax, which is looking good.
Spend $70. You're probably going to have a better team than most people if Ultimate Team's taught me anything.
That is probably one of the biggest things with Beat On over at Benfica. Yeah, he did pay to get a lot of his team released. And yeah, hats off to you, Ricky. The bonuses this Christmas would be nice. Not that we get any bonuses, but yeah, you spend $60. It says something in Division 1 to do that. And they're doing good. I thought they would do good. I've talked to both. I hope the best for both. But it is kind of interesting in that, like you said, that match last Sunday. Benfica beating Ajax 3-1. So that'll be interesting going forward. I got to look at the goal leaders. There's another shout out to Ramos and IF Lewandowski. I believe that's it. So Ajax with Ramos, he's got 16 goals, and Lewandowski's tied with Benfica at 16. We got Liverpool, Mad Kev, but he plays for Bayer. He's also got 15 goals. Spider sitting fourth with 14 goals. Napoli, a mastermind with Leipzig at 12. And Rio, there we go again, Rio. He has 12 goals sitting in 5th place. So going back to the table, probably Bayer I'm most interested in. Side note, they beat us. They beat Napoli. 8-2, it was rather a slaughter. It wasn't pretty by any means. So therefore, I'd like to kind of introduce Rio. And Rio, what do you think? What's going to happen in the league going forward? How you feeling, buddy?
Same way I felt last week and the week before that.
Which was exotic?
Confidence.
Sitting at the top of the league. You going to hold it? What's the mentality going forward? Just keep doing what you're doing, or what?
Play everybody like we've been playing them.
What is your what is in terms of you managing them? What do you try to preach?
You trying to copy the notes down so you can steal a success, try to climb back up or something?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I'm just...
The idea that we all put in our heads is that, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I said this last time. It doesn't matter who we're playing, whether it's a River Plate, whether it's a PSV. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We play everybody the exact same way. So, whether the team's got 11, whether the team's got 6 players, we play everybody the exact same way. And we don't take nobody, lightly.
Who's been good competition that you enjoy going up against?
Inter Milan, Arsenal. Yeah.
Have they been
Milan and Arsenal?
Has Inter been as problematic as it was when we faced them? I can't remember how did you guys do against them?
We played Inter Milan in the preseason cup and we beat them 3-1. Then we played them on opening night in Division 1 and we drew 0-0.
Have you got to play Barcelona? Benfica?
We played Barcelona first Wednesday night and we beat them 2-0.
You guys are looking good, man. I can't see any holes in it. Can't see any holes. Everybody knows I have a vested interest in this, but you guys are looking good, man.
Well, speaking of holes, I believe that Bayer Leverkusen found some in your defense when they beat you 8-2 the other day.
I don't.
Oh boy. I thought that was going another way.
I have a story to tell that everybody needs to listen to.
All right. We're all ears.
So we're setting up, me and Ramos, we're setting up a friendly at 7:30 for, warm-ups for the games because we got Napoli first. So we're sitting there waiting for the start. And our keeper, Darkberry98, who's a great keeper and a great friend of ours, he's Dutch. He's from the Netherlands. So the first game starts at 2 a.m. for him. Ooh. So he just got back from vacation and he didn't get that much sleep the day leading up to the games. So literally 10 minutes before the game, Barry falls asleep. So because we didn't have our backup keeper online because we didn't think we was going to need him, the starting striker, decided to go in net. And we moved our center mid to striker. So when the sheet says 8-2, it sounds bad. But when you had a striker in net and a center mid as striker, it's a lot worse than what it was.
Oh,
shots fired.
God, no joke, man. I'm not even gonna say what my team didn't have. You're trying to add. Let me get this right.
Skill.
I bring
ability,
you. No.
A team.
You get on this podcast. How about that? You're gonna add insult to injury after spanking my team 8-2. Is that right? You gotta add a story to it. Either way, Rio, I got a shout out. Whatever it was you said, man. All right, you beat us. Just look out for the next game. Next time we play, man. Next time we play, I got nothing. I got no ammo. I got nothing. What am I supposed to say?
Kev is sitting on right now 15 goals, 5 assists, 13 key passes. And I'm sitting on 12 goals, 6 assists, and 13 key passes.
Has that been confirmed? Anybody?
According to my calculations, it is.
This man.
I'm regretting bringing you on here, but please continue.
Just everybody on my team has been playing the way we're supposed to be playing. So, sitting in first place and beating you guys 8-2, doing what we've been doing, all of that, it's just what we expected to do. So, it's nothing out the ordinary.
Yeah, dude, I like that. Honestly, I'll talk all sorts of trash, but to have other teams in D1 that are fixtures where I know when we play you guys again, we're going to want to beat you more than anything. I'm going to hype my team up and do all sorts of stuff. And that's what we need that's the biggest thing we need for this league, right? Have rivalries, have fun, get to know the other players. That's what's fun about World Cup, Euro Cup, all this stuff. You actually get to play with other guys. And I'll give you a hard time, Rio, but, I'm not happy you guys beat us, but I'm proud that you guys are there, that it's a team we can play, and that if we beat you guys, we feel good about it. Yeah, guys, you don't want to beat chump teams.
Well, speaking of junk teams that are maybe starting to get things going, Shakhtar with 2 wins last night. Now, one of them was a default, but they did get a real win as well.
No. Really?
Yes. PSV still sitting there with 0 points, the only team in PCN without a win. But like Rio was saying, like other people have been saying, they keep showing up, they're trying. I'm sure that win will come at some point. So we'll just have to see, keep track of that.
Big hats off to Shakhtar, though. I know they've been battling for a while. For, 3 or 4 game days, they've been battling to try to get a win, putting a team together.
One team I will say, though, because we played them Wednesday night, one team I will say, Club America. I talked to their manager. He's a cool guy. Yeah. But those guys, their keeper is absolutely unreal. We should have had about, not even trying to over-exaggerate, we should have had about 6 shots that he just saved that I can't even begin to explain how he did it. Gavin.
Formerly Quadrado. They also have, I was looking at kind of people who might be potential targets for higher D1 teams or Super League teams for transfers. They have a defender named Richard GXX. I've seen him play center back and fullback. He leads D1 in interceptions with 38. I think he's like 10 ahead of the next one. He's got really good stats all around. So I wonder if, he's someone who can either help keep America pushing up the table, or he might be someone that someone targets and says, hey, I want to grab that guy.
Yeah, you want to get on my team or for World Cup? Yeah. Yeah, I'll take you.
All right, and I think that about wraps it up for our D1 discussion. And AJ is having a little bit of technical difficulties tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce the next interview, which is going to be with my main man, Fearoshi, also known as Oscar, LV Catalyst, Atoshi Nakamoto, No More Respek, whatever you want to call him. It's been a lot of names. How you doing, Oscar?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Doing good, doing good. So I know you were kind of there from the start in PCN, but as a day oneer, as Ricky likes to call you, how did you arrive to PCN in Season 1?
It all started when, I was friends with Bob. I don't know how many people know about him, but Bob was actually trialing for VFL Sounders at the time, which was Ricky's team.
Mm-hmm.
And then and it was only them two playing. I joined the party, played with them, and then after one match, Ricky said, "Oh, do you want to sign for the team?" And I said, "Yeah." And I joined his team, and then one day Ricky messaged me saying, "You should join my league." And then that's when I joined. I played for Benfica, the legendary super team. I think we were legendary in the way that we were actually pretty bad because we lost to a team that only had 3 people while we had a full 11 for almost every match, and we still didn't get first place.
Yeah, I think we finished like a couple points out of first. So in your time in PCN, since you've been here since the beginning, kind of on and off, I know you've had seasons where you couldn't play as much. What do you think has been kind of your favorite team you played for, your favorite season?
I think it was Season 5 when I played for Atletico Madrid. And the only reason I tried for the team was because at the time, Atletico Madrid was actually managed by Stride. But then, I don't know what happened, and they ended up moving to AC Milan. So then, someone by the name of Ace at the time took over, and since the team basically broke up and he took over, I just asked him if I could join. And he said, why not? And then it ended up being just a whole bunch of people from Cuba. So it was pretty fun. And I learned, instead of saying fuck every time, they said pinga. I don't know what that means, but it was pretty fun. I'd say that was probably my favorite season so far.
Quick shout out to you. You still hold the all-time defensive clean sheet record from that season with 14.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one ever did.
What can I say, man?
Yeah.
During that season, we went 13 games, only conceding like 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think our keeper had like 10 clean sheets in a row or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I think it was Alvarez.
He only played like 10 games. So the 10 games he showed up, the 10 games
I think like 15, but he had like 12 clean sheets. Like I've never seen a goalie have that kind of mark.
No, he's probably the reason I got all those clean sheets, to be honest.
Well, speaking of clean sheets, as a player who's played a lot of games at center back, at fullback, at CDM, do you have a preference? Do you have a position you think is your strongest?
I'd say I enjoy playing fullback the most, and then CDM, and then center back. I can play each one equally well, but I enjoy playing fullback better. But this season, with Orlando Pirates, we're playing 3-5-2. So I'm playing center back this season.
When you guys have conceded goals, has it been kind of errors, or has it just been kind of you guys haven't had enough people on?
Most of our goals have been just miscommunication. I mean, the only practice we really get are like the friendlies before the actual games. We don't really get practice, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But at the same time, when a player doesn't show up, or you have 3 or 4 players that don't show up, that really messes things up because they're used to playing one way. And if they don't show up and you don't practice, then you really get screwed, which is what happened to us. I think last night, destroyed by Man City twice. I think both games we played against them, they had 10 shots on target. We had a lot of players missing, so J-Way had to move people around in the midfield. And for Man City, we played the 4-1-2-1-2, so that was kind of new. I guess that screwed things up, so we just moved back to the 3-5-2, and I guess that made things better, but we didn't really have a good day.
So you have kind of an interesting history for people that don't know. Season 4, when we had our kind of Wild West forum, one of the most frequently banned and kind of controversial figures on the forum was Oscar here. But then you also eventually became kind of one of the most productive and kind of trusted admins by the end of FIFA 17. So, you know,
was I really banned like that much?
It was at least like 3 or 4 times, which is a lot. where he had to kind of cut you out.
I don't remember getting banned that many
Everybody was
times.
a little wild then, but how did you go from kind of being a little loosey-goosey like that to becoming an admin the next season and really being a good member of the team?
To be honest, I have no idea. I mean, I went from posting links of Pornhub on the forums to becoming an admin. I guess just getting on my knees and begging to Ricky, really. To be fair, you were there when I posted the videos, but you were drunk.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. Because Ricky was kind of just disappointed for a while because he was like, he's posting porn links, he's getting himself banned, but then you got your shit together, and we've had some admins come and go, and there's ones that I missed more than others, and I don't know, I thought you did a really good job. But anyway, speaking of the kind of the Pornhub thing or whatever, if you had to pick one of the following, Cash Cab, the TV show, Taxi, the Jimmy Fallon movie, Crazy Taxi, the video game, or Fake Taxi, we all know what that is.
I'd say like none of the above. I'm more of a like property bros type of guy,
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Oscar posted a video. It wasn't actual porn, but it was basically a Donald Trump fucks America after the election, and
the thing is, I never posted like a fake taxi.
Yeah, Ricky didn't click on the video, so he didn't know that it was fake.
No, the thing is, I never posted like any fake taxi. That the Trump fucks America all at once video is the only one I posted, but there was a lot of people in the party that just started posting, and I think Ricky started banning everyone. Kept making new accounts, posting even more videos. And then since I was the one who started it.
Yeah, this all was at like 2:30 in the morning one night. I was a little bit drunk. I didn't put anything on the forum, but I kind of turned a blind eye. But that was back when like the admins the admins had to be on the forum at all times because something like that could go down. You could literally put a post up in a second and make a new account in 5 seconds. So
looking back at it, I'm surprised Ricky even like stuck to like running this league for like all the shit he's gone through. I think what season was it? Second season when he moved like all of Benfica to Borussia Dortmund and fuck over Benfica.
It was just sort of like a weird, like I went on one day and I was on Dortmund and I was like, why am I in Dortmund? I'm on Benfica. And it was like he didn't want Dortmund to have a manager, but then he made it so Benfica didn't have a manager, and he kind of combined the two teams. And I think Ricky will admit that's one of his biggest mistakes in PCN. But I remember there were times in season 4 that I think he made a couple posts like, PCN is a privilege. It's something I don't have to do. If people keep acting like this, I might stop it. And so I think getting off that forum where people could just kind of go crazy and, just learning more about how to run the league, getting some more good help. I think that's kind of what kind of kept PCN going, and it's kind of made it into what it is.
I mean, we've gone from first season, 10 teams, I think. All you needed was 3 players to a league with 2 divisions, and now it has its own podcast. So it's pretty amazing to see how much this has grown.
Yeah, it is. And last question here. What are the origins of Papa Bless?
I mean, it's really the YouTuber H3H3 or Ethan Klein. I started watching him a while back, and then with like the whole Devout Evening thing in season 4 where he started blessing everyone, that's when I started saying Papa Bless. Devout Evening just inspired me to bless this league. Someone has to take over.
All right, well, so do we get your blessing?
I mean, yes. Ricky, hope you share your millions with me. All the contract buyouts. Slackman is bought, Evan is bought, Alex is bought. I mean, who knows how much money he's rolling in, Papa bless.
All right, I think that'll do it. Thank you so much, Oscar, for coming on.
All right, thank you. Papa bless, man.
Papa bless. All right, we will be back next week once again with another hot and fresh podcast. So until next time, have a good one, you guys.